Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Max Tech Motorsports. We're going to continue on with our GTI time attack build. So where I left off with you guys last time, we just finished doing the aftermarket radiator and installing that. So yeah, what we're going to do today now is we're going to put in our aftermarket seat. So yeah, the first thing you're going to want to do, at least for the MK4 or I guess any application, is you're going to remove your stock seat or your seats. So we have a bit of storage going on here right now. I only have one bracket to go with one of the seats I have. So a friend of mine, we ended up trading seats. He wanted my leather ones with the heat, which is all fine and dandy. I don't really plan on driving this in the winter time, and you know, if I can get a set of Sparco Seats, it'd be nice for a straight up trade. But yeah, so in this situation here, for the MK4, you're going to want to take out your old seat, as you can see. So we've already gone out and done that. To kind of give you guys a quick overview, especially if you're an MK4 type of guy or girl or whatever. But yeah, so pretty basic. At the front of your seat, you're going to have this bracket, which is going to have two 13 millimeter nuts on it. So if I can find the ones from this side, these guys right here, so you can see these little nuts. You're gonna have that on it's going to be a threaded piece that's going to go right through here, and then you're gonna remove that. So yeah, pretty basic. Slide the seat all the way back, and then you'll be able to get at those 13 mils. And then when you're done that, as I get out of here, you're going to see at the back here these rails. So the rails are pretty pretty covered up by these like kind of black, I don't have them anymore, but they're like these black pieces of trim. And what you're gonna do is you remove this T20 Torx bit here, or Torx screw, and then what's gonna happen is, once you undo the 13 mils, you can slide your seat all the way forward, which will then expose these two guys. Now, the black pieces might have kind of a cover on it, so you can go ahead and take like a flathead screwdriver and kind of move it all up and down so that you can expose this stuff right here. So anyways, yeah, once that's off, then you'll be able to slide the seat all the way back. You'll kind of see these little tiny wheels that will be into the track here. So imagine like this T20 goes down and kind of like keeps it from moving, and then you'll have your black bracket. It will kind of like go like this, and it'll kind of curve down. So once you remove all that, remove this, remove those, you'll be able to slide the seat all the way back. A trick that I kind of learned was, if you kind of use all the reclining options on it, you can kind of squish it into one small piece, which kind of helps. And then yeah, and then we'll be able to slide it off the track. Once you get that off, again, with any application, just take a look underneath. In the MK4 GTI application here, you can see, so one of these is probably like a seat sensor, for like, you know, I mean, obviously if someone's in the seat, it might be like a seatbelt sensor. And then you have your what's it called, heated seat option. So all the wiring from that. So just make sure that you take a look underneath before you start trying to rip the seat out. You don't want to take any of the wiring with it. But yeah, so yeah, it's a bit messy here. I'm just going to vacuum this up, but in the meantime, why don't we take a look at what we're actually going to be installing. So let's go take a look at it. So yeah, here's our bracket. So this bracket is from Sparco. Here is the part number on it. I'll make sure to put everything in the description for you guys, but there's your part number. This is just the driver's side. So pretty basic. If you guys can see, here is our this is the spot that wraps around the front where those two 13 millimeter nuts will go. But in this situation, because the stock seat has the built-in threads, I have to make my own threads. So I just went out and got myself a couple bolts, and then just mashed it up with obviously some nuts, a couple lock washers. Just make sure you buy something that's a decent strength, because this is keeping your body planted down, right? So, and then you can kind of see we have this little bracket thing on the side, as well as this one right here. So these are going to slide into the sliders that I was showing you onto the on the car. So it's nice that they move around. So once we get them in there, we'll be able to tighten them up. And then this is where your seatbelt is going to go for the driver's side. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. But yeah, let's vacuum the car out, and then we'll fire this thing up. The best thing to do, I find, is to mount your bracket onto your seat, and that way you can do it all in one shot. And yeah, relatively pretty easy. Just like I said, guys, remember when you're gonna grab yourself your hardware, just grab strong stuff, especially when it comes to you know what I mean, seatbelt. So this is actually the first seat I have ever, or first aftermarket seat I've ever got for any car, so I'm pretty excited about it. It might be an older model or whatever, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Fixed bucket seat should be fun. Eventually I'll get a harness for everything, but yeah, so what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that we line up the seat properly on the what's called here on the bracket. So just looking at some of the pictures from the guy that I bought it off, I think we're going to be using these inside stuff right there, and then we went out and got ourselves a whole variety of nuts and bolts. So these are stainless steel, and these ones are what are these, 3/8? So 3/8 stainless steel, some washers, a couple more, and then we have ourselves there should be a pack of nylon. There they are. No, sorry, there they are. Of nylon locking nuts. So that's going to be our 4 for doing yeah, for putting the actual seat onto the bracket. And then after that we have ourselves so this is a grade 8, I think this one is, what size, M12. Yeah, so M12, classified as a 8.8, so relatively strong bolt here. Now I might just use this temporary for the seatbelt, because if I can find a parts car, I'm gonna see if I can snag you know what I mean, those brass type of style, or those gold plated bolts that you see for like most of the seatbelt stuff. It's just trying to find one of those right now is kind of hard. You can't just go out and buy them anywhere, or at least I can't find any. So yeah, what we're gonna do now is slide this seat so all the way back, which will give us access to the front of the bracket. And then we're going to just find ourselves a good hole to put everything in, and we'll at least mount the front. And then we're going to slide everything forward, which will give us access to the rails at the back of the seat and on this rear part of the bracket. And then that again will allow us to have access to everything, so we can tighten everything up. You can see we have the seat kind of yeah, kind of all the way forward here, and you see where it kind of mounts up nice and flush there. So just make sure everything's nice and straight, and then we'll put our stainless steel bolts on there. Okay guys, so I just had to bore these holes out just a tad, just to get it to sit in there properly. So just trying to make sure that this is nice and level. This side's got to come up, or this one has to go down just a little bit there. But it definitely helps if you have a level, just to make sure your seat's not all wonky. Okay, so we're just going to toss a washer on here, and ourselves a little lock nut, the nylon bushing. Kind of a pain in the ass when you're underneath there, but that's okay. I just don't want the seat to fall out the other way. There we go. Just gonna do tighten these up and then do the front too. I'm not gonna go full tight on these just yet, just so I have some leeway. I just want to make sure I do some even kind of like pressure around this whole bracket or the rails. So yeah, and then after when I'm done, I'm just gonna kind of spray, can see a little bit of grease. I'm just gonna put a little bit more grease in there, just so everything works out nicely. Okay guys, so you can see we got ourselves all bolted up here. Now I did have to kind of bore out the actual rail just a wee bit, just to get these bolts to kind of yeah, sit in there good. And then because the heads, let's see if I can show you from the back. So because the heads right there literally are very, very tight to fit in there, yeah, I just had to kind of take my time with it. But yeah, she's all in there, she's ready to go. We're gonna move this thing to the car and get these guys set up here, and then yeah, we should be good to go. We finally got this thing in here. Oh my gosh. So you can see this is where we're gonna have to make kind of our own sort of threaded rod stuff. So I'm just gonna put on those yeah, those strong bolts with a couple nuts, or the nuts in the lock washer. And then what you want to do at the back here is these guys. There you go. So that bracket, you want to keep them nice and loose. That way you can maneuver the actual little ears here, because you can see how this piece is supposed to slide on the outside, and then you have your L bracket, which is right in there. So kind of like, just like this is exactly how she'll slide. And then yeah, and then once you get it up enough here to where you can have that, then you can actually tighten these down. So a tip too, take the rear car mat out. I found these little bracket things were getting stuck on there, but yeah, if you take a look, there you go, there's a good view of it. And then once you have them all, or everything kind of situated, you can go ahead and you can tighten up these as well, and then everything will be nice and snug. And then don't forget to put your little T20 what's it called, things on here, just I mean, just so they're not flying around. Like, it doesn't really actually do anything now that I look at it, but yeah, there you go guys. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna grab these bolts and nuts here and put this part in, and then that should take care of installing our seat. But look at it in there. Oh man, that's awesome. Just finishing this last bolt here. It's a huge pain in the ass to grab, but yeah, this is just a 17 mil. Just gonna hand tighten it right now, and then I should be able to hopefully get a wrench behind there. With a lock washer, as always, you don't want these things coming loose when you're obviously driving. And this is a grade 8.8 class bolt, which I think should be enough. There we go. She's in there. Not bad. Got a little bit of play, but nothing too crazy. Other than that, yeah, man. Super excited for it. Just gotta see where the play is. Actually, you know what? That is on the Allen bolts underneath, which is fine. I might have to just tighten up, but other than that, guys, like, so there's our two nut and bolts with lock washers, grade 8 bolts, and then all our sliders with stainless steel. I'll put a link, or not a link, but I'll just put a description of all like the nuts and bolts and what I used for this, at least for the MK4. It might be different for your application as always, but yeah, it slides up, no problem. And then you can see these are nice and tight now. There we go. Sweet, man. Super excited about them. Eventually I'm gonna have to use a harness, sorry, but yeah, it all depends on when I'm gonna get this roll cage done. Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for watching another video and kind of following me. If you are, if it's just 1 or 2 of you, or if it's 50 of you, I don't even care, just as long as one of you guys enjoy it, and you know what I mean, kind of helps you out. So yeah, as always, don't be afraid to subscribe, leave a comment. Anything you guys want as far as criticism, good or bad, like or dislike, I don't care. Anything is good to learn off of. And then yeah, check us out on Instagram at Max Stack Motorsports. Also, don't be afraid to add us on Instagram if you guys want to get your car featured. You know, I mean, if you're in the local area of Toronto and you want to get like a feature film or something like that, yeah, feel free to DM me. If not, if you're in the States or wherever, Europe, or I don't care, wherever you guys are, somewhere around the world, yeah, feel free to add the account, and you guys can always DM me your ride with some specs, and I'll try my best to feature it for you. So take care, guys. Be safe.